It's Friday, and this is your Lockdown Live number 39. Welcome to this brief interlude into your day. Today, we're going to look at managing panic and worry. First thing I would say about managing panic and worry is, both of these things come from our primal need. They come from our primal need to survive. Okay, that's where firstly, let's put that out there. A lot of the stuff that we feel and we experience comes from our primal system, a very, very old system, but keeps us very, very safe. Okay, let's start with panic. Panic and panic attacks. For anybody that's had a panic attack, you will understand how horrendous they feel. They're really awful. They can happen in many, many different ways. You get pains in your chest, you can get really sweaty, you can get really panicky, short of breath. There's loads of different symptoms, but it literally can feel like you're going to die in that moment because it feels like your body is closing down. And in a way, it is doing that, but it's doing it because of our thinking mind. Our thinking mind has gotten overactive, let's say. So they are absolutely terrifying. I want to put that out there straight away. But they are treatable, and they are a misinterpretation of information that we have received on our system. So our system, it kind of scans the horizon for thousands and thousands of pounds, thousands of pieces of data all the time. It is constantly scanning. And this happens unconsciously, and it goes into the mind, and then the mind starts processing. So we could be like getting on with our day, absolutely fine, we're just getting on with our day and everything's happening. All of this is happening unconscious, and then all of a sudden we start to get like a little flutter there, and it's just a little flutter, and then we start to get a bigger flutter, and that's because the mind is processing without any of our active knowledge. Let's say it happens very, very passively. So the other thing that I want to say to you is it can feel terrifying. However, it's not necessarily real. It's an overthinking. Panic attacks feel like we're going to die, but we won't. I don't know of anybody that's ever died from a panic attack. So it just feels like that because our heart's beating and everything's pounding and we're getting really sweaty. So try to firstly acknowledge them. Acknowledge the panic attack. So don't ignore it. We mustn't ever ignore those feelings. If you're starting to get a little bit fluttery, I keep checking where my mic is. If you're starting to get a little bit fluttery, then check it. Stop. If you can, then stop. If you're just about to go and deliver a presentation, then there's usually a reason why you're getting fluttery, because you're just about to deliver a presentation, and again, your primal mind thinks you're in danger because the audience are going to take you down. But if you're feeling this, if you can, feel it and stop. I need you to stop because I need you to acknowledge it. When we ignore it, it just carries on. When we acknowledge it, we kind of enter into it and almost it gives a lot more chance of it stopping. Okay, so that part's really, really important. Acknowledge it, and then the next thing we're going to do is go straight into deep breathing. I talk about deep breathing all the time. It's go into deep breathing. To prevent panic attacks, I would love for this to happen in schools. What I'd love to happen in schools is that we get taught how to deep breathe. At the beginning of every lesson, we sit down in the classroom and the teacher does 3 minutes deep breathing with us, because then it would become part of our system. And if it became part of our system, then there would be little chance that we would be panicking in the way that we do as humans now. But if you are panicking, then just go into deep breathing. If with the deep breathing it doesn't kind of subside, then go back into it again. And if it doesn't subside, then go back into it again, and just keep doing it. And eventually the deep breathing will catch and the system will calm down. When we deep breathe, we just go in through the nose, lower stomach raises, because then we know the breath's going right down into the diaphragm, and then we come back out through the mouth. The outward breath is always a little bit longer than the inward breath because it does something to the mind. I'm not sure what it does now, but it kind of resets it in some way. The outward breath is more important than the inward breath, but just rhythmically in, hold, and then all the way back out again. But I really want to see people doing that like 4 or 5 times a day. Wake up in the morning, sit on the edge of the bed and deep breathe. Go in the shower, deep breathe. Get out of the shower, deep breathe. Wait for the kettle to boil, deep breathe. Just keep doing it. Pepper it throughout the day. And then you minimize the chance of you getting into any kind of panic attack. The other thing on my list here is worry. Worry is, again, it comes from the primal system. For me, there's one question I want to ask you about worrying. If I put a post on Facebook the other day about this, and it was, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, then you don't give it any more than 5 minutes to worry about. The other thing I want to say about worry is, and I said this to somebody the other week, I said, I don't want you thinking any further than 24 hours, because at that point, the person that I was working with was in like a high anxiety state, and then it was like, yeppa, and like weeks ahead and months ahead and years ahead, and I was like, whoa, stop, too much, overload, mind got into overload. If you're feeling panicky, or if you're feeling like you're over worrying, then pull all of that right back and only think about the next 24 hours, the next 48 hours. You decide what you think you can manage without going into a panic attack or over worrying. A lot of our worries are about things that are going to happen in 6 months' time and a year's time and 10 years' time. Why have I not got a career? Why have I not got money in the bank? Why have I? Leave it, just leave it alone, because actually when we go into those worry cycles, and it's like a wash cycle in there, when we go into those worry cycles, we stop enjoying the current moment. And I really want you to enjoy the current moment. I want you to enjoy right now. I know that life's different right now. I know life is different right now, but that doesn't mean to say that we still can't enjoy some of the beauty that is just around us. The Action for Happiness calendar today says, give positive comments to as many people as possible. I like that one. Nearly always like it, don't I? So give positive comments to as many people as possible. So see how you get on with that. For people listening or tuning in on Home Radio's Facebook page, hello. My name's Kevin Guthrie. Home Radio can be accessed. It is a DAB digital radio station. It has apps on both Android and iOS, and it can be accessed via your Alexa. Just shout Alexa, enable Home Radio, and it should find it for you. Okay. If you're tuning now, you'll get the lovely Matt Colburn. He's live on air at the moment. So remember, panic and worry. Panic is very real, but it is just a process of overthinking in our mind. So it's like a perceived situation that something's dangerous, and actually it's not. It just means we've got stuck in our heads unconsciously, and we're not quite aware of it. So acknowledge it and work out what's going on, and then usually it'll dissipate. Go straight into deep breathing, deep breathe, proactively, not reactively. Well, you're going to do both, but I want you to start deep breathing proactively. As a matter of course, wake up in the morning, put your feet on the floor and deep breathe. It's such a great way to start the day. Honestly, I'll go and stand in the shower. Do both. Go and stand in the shower, deep breathe. Spend 3 or 4 minutes just deep breathing in and out, and just let the water rush over you. I class that as like an external and internal wash, because as we deep breathe like that, we exchange the oxygen in our bodies. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow, so Saturday at 8:15, with our highlights of the week. I wish you an absolutely amazingly wonderful day. Okay, I'm gonna go because I've got work to do, but have a great day. Be kind to yourself, yeah, and be kind to everybody around you. Take care.